Hey everyone, it's me, Mayor Bryce Ward. I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the recent real estate market that we had over the last year and how that's going to be impacting values and assessments as we come up on this upcoming year. 2021 was a very active year. We had a record-breaking number of sales that occurred here in the Fairbanks North Star Borough. This is everything from your homes to land to commercial property. We had a lot of activity in this last year. What that does is it sets a lot of comparable sales, or it shows we get market data to look at when it comes to assessing property. The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assessor has a responsibility under statute to make sure that we are assessing all property within the borough to its full and true value. What that means is that the assessment that you get for your property, whether it be vacant land or your residence, or your business, has to, by statute, reflect as closely as it can full and true market value. Typically what that means is that we are at about that 95 percentile, meaning that a little bit is going to be above that, a little bit below that. What we saw this last year is we saw the average sales price for a single family home go from $273,000 to $304,000. That's 11.5% increase from the prior year. This is definitely going to have an impact on your assessment when you get those here at the end of the month. What we also saw is that more commercial property or commercial real estate saw an even greater increase over the last year based on those comparable sales. So if you have rentals, or if you have apartment complexes, or like a mother-in-law apartment, those generally are going to see a larger increase when it comes to the value of that property. Now, that's a good thing in many ways, right? It means that your property is worth more. And I know there's lots of folks that say, well, that means that my taxes are going to go up. Now, there's two pieces to this equation. The first one is the work that the assessor does. The assessor values your property. The second piece is the rate at which that property is taxed. What that means, just because your property value increases, that doesn't necessarily mean that your taxes will increase. The tax rate is exclusively set by the Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly. I'll make my proposal to the Assembly sometime in March, and they'll take that up for discussion in April and then have a public hearing and approval in May. What we see actually with increases in values, when your total taxable value increases, is that actually has the ability through our tax revenue cap to push down the tax rate. So I have yet to see what the numbers are for the entire year, but we're definitely seeing that those values across the borough have increased pretty dramatically this last year. So the thing that you should be asking yourself when you get your assessment is, does this assessment look correct? Is this what you could potentially sell your house for or your property in this existing market? If you feel that the Fairbanks North Star Borough Assessor has overvalued your property, first, I would encourage you to come in and talk with one of our assessors, or get on the phone and talk with your particular assessor that manages your properties. Have that discussion with them. Make sure that we have all of the information that is attributable to your property. It may be that we have the construction type wrong. It may be that we have certain amenities that we've listed as a dry cabin or a wet cabin when it's actually a dry cabin, or things along that nature. So that information is really important. First, come talk to your assessor. The second thing is, if you still disagree with the value of your property, we do have an appeals process where you actually get to go before the Board of Equalization. It's a board of local residents that come together and hear the cases. They hear the case from the assessor, and they hear the case from you as the individual, and make a determination on, was the value correctly determined. So I just want to give folks a heads up that when you do get your notices this year, you are going to see a pretty significant increase in those values. Those are to reflect the market conditions that we see out in the community, and that you do have a process to go through to make sure we've got that information correct, and then be able to appeal your assessment if you so desire. So anyway, lots of exciting things happen here in the borough. Appreciate the time to go over this bit of information with you. Hope you found it helpful. Thank you.